Good Monday makers. In this week's episode, we're checking out a flight simulator, a back patio privacy sunshade, a Jon Boat cover, a solar panel rack for a scooter, another boat cover, a winter gardening greenhouse, a packaging workstation, and a music desk. All kinds of cool projects and hacks incorporated into them. Let's jump in and check them out. First up is this flight simulator from Leaf. And if you watched our video from a couple days ago on Saturday, we talked about a hack that's incorporated into this, but this is a flight simulator that he made. It's really sweet. I've always wanted a flight simulator, so I'm kind of jealous here. But he's got basically a 2x4 framing around the base, and then he attached the seat for the simulator to that. And then it looks like he's attached the conduit that kind of goes around. And I imagine it's kind of mirrored on the other side. And he's attached that to the wood framing with the conduit hanger straps. And then he's got some adjustable angle connectors going up to this vertical pipe here, and this kind of supports all of the flight stick and everything like that. Is all held on, and that looks like a custom. I don't know if he 3D printed these or what, but those are really cool, and I'd love to know. He's been really responsive in the community, so I'll reach out and ask. But it looks like there's like a 3D printed platform that the conduit just goes directly into, and that's what the flight controls are attached to. And, like I said, he's supporting that with adjustable angle connectors. He's got a T connector that goes from one side to the other. And like I said, it's probably mirrored on the other side. And it looks really great. And then up here in the front, he's got, the pipe that just continuously runs to the front of the base. See, he's got some composite flooring attached to the base there. It looks nice. And then the hack that we talked about in Saturday's video, we kind of go more in depth in that video. So definitely check that out if you're interested. But basically, what he's done is he's got some of the drawer slides from Home Depot or Lowe's. He's attached those to the conduit with conduit hanger straps, and this allows him to basically slide the cockpit forward and back, as you can see here. It's really smooth, really awesome, and it works great. And since that video was published, he actually commented and said that the drawer slides are kind of offset a bit from the pipe. They're a little bit so like the pipes here maybe, and then you have the drawer slide. Basically, he said that the drawer slide is resting on the ground, and so that's providing support. Just because in the video we mentioned that the hanger straps can, start to rotate under weight, but he said he's got it where with the hanger strap on this pipe here, kind of elevating it. He said that was just the perfect elevation to basically allow the drawer slide to rest on the composite flooring there. So that's great and offers good support. And it's just super cool because, as you can see, it just glides really smoothly. And he's got some verticals attached to those pipes. And then up at the top, he's got 90-degree connectors to kind of make the rectangle frame here. And then he says he's going to be attaching the rest of the simulator. I would imagine, some monitors maybe and different things. He said he's going to eventually be a dashboard and helm that I can slide away for easy access to the seat. So really awesome. Going to be really cool to see it finished. So definitely share that in the community, Leah, if we'd love to see the final project. But thanks so much for posting that. Really cool to see. Next up is a project from Fletch, and this is a great idea. As you can see, they've got this back patio area. It has a nice concrete pad here. And what they've done is we'll kind of go through the pictures. They've built a privacy sunshade around this area that they could kind of sit in with guests and have a nice seated area that's not getting blasted with the sun if it's during the day. But they talked about how they use flanges here to allow the verticals to go up into the frame, and they included in the comments exactly what um, anchors they use, the concrete anchors, and the process that they use for attaching those. So that's really great. We appreciate that, and check that out if you're looking to do something similar. But they attach the flanges to the concrete pad using those anchors there. As you can see, there's three on this wall, and I'm not sure if we can see. Yeah, two, three on this wall as well. This one actually has a kind of walkway door to go into it. And basically, what Fletch has done is you can see there's verticals that go from the concrete pad up to the roof, and it looks like they're secured to the pillars here going around and then to the wall. And I think even on this kind of lip here at the top of the roof, or I guess that would be the bottom of the roof, but the top of this frame. I'm not sure what he used there. Maybe those are hanger straps, it looks like, maybe, possibly. Not 100% sure. But regardless, those are secured to the pillars and in those different spots. And then those verticals have T connectors and pipes going from each vertical There's one on the end that goes to the middle. There's a 180-degree connector there, and then just continues the run all the way around. And then that whole kind of top horizontal pipe is mirrored down low here as well. And it's a really simple frame, nothing too crazy. And then the sunshade material is attached with ball bungees. We've talked about those a ton on the channel. If you haven't seen them, they're basically just like you would see with a bungee cord, except they're kind of a loop, and then there's a ball on the end of them. And basically, you just put the bungee through the grommet, and then you put the bungee loop over top of the ball, and they secure really well. And they're really awesome solution for securing sunshades and things like this. As you can see, there's quite a bit of them, so that's good. It's good. It'll keep it attached, so that's really great. But yeah, it's a really simple project, not that many connections, but it looks great and looks like a really nice and relaxing place to hang out with guests. So really cool, Fletch. Thanks so much for posting that. We really appreciate it. Next up is a build from Dean, and this is a Jon Boat cover, and he included some of the different things that he used: four ways, two T's, 135-degree connector, and half-inch EMT. So we can see here he's got this Jon Boat, and here it is all covered up. But the framework, it looks like there's basically some pipes that start on the end of the boat, or on the sides of the boat. And he said those aren't really secured to anything. He's just got them kind of got the whole frame resting inside the Jon Boat, and the cover just kind of draped over top of it. It looks like there's bent pipes that basically go from one side up and maybe even all the way around to the other side. I think that is one continuous bent pipe from one side to the other. And then from that pipe, there's 180-degree connectors, T connectors attached, which allow the pipes to run from front to back and connect to different points here. And then I really like how they used the 135-degree connector here, where there's instead of it being kind of coming to a point, it's oriented upside down. I mean, I guess it's upside down. There's really no exact way that the connector has to be oriented, but we'll call it upside down. And then there's bent pieces of pipe coming out of the 135 going up. And that looks really cool. Never really seen that technique done, but it looks great. And I can see how that would make a really good solution for a cover, because your biggest concern with like a sunshade or a cover of this type is you don't want water and things to kind of pool in it. So having points like this that stick up and kind of keep the sunshade pulled tight, or the cover pulled tight, it keeps the water from pooling on top and causing the whole cover to come tumbling into the boat or sunshade, whatever it is you're working on. So that's a really great technique, and it looks great. And again, here on, I think this is the opposite end. Looks like that's where the bent pipe that comes out of the 135 connects to this T connector on the front pipe, and it looks like we've got another bent pipe that goes from one side of the boat to the other. More 180-degree connectors, and it looks like there's self-tapping screws through the connectors and into the conduit, which is always a great solution just to add some extra strength, especially because the whole thing is half-inch EMT. So that's a good precaution just to add some strength to the connections. Looks like a fantastic cover, and here it is with its when everything's attached. Got the cover draped over top of it and pulled tight, and there we can see some of the different like elevation points, which is going to allow the water to run off on both sides. So really great, awesome solution, Dean. Thanks so much for sharing that. Looks like it's great. He said not fancy, but happy with the first build. I think it looks awesome enough, and it's going to get the job done. So really cool, Dean. Thanks so much for posting that. We really appreciate it. Next up is a simple build. This is a scooter that Justin has. Looks like a Razor electric scooter. And what he's done is he's got this bracket. I'd love to know what bracket it is, but it basically attaches to the seat post and has this rail coming out the back of it that looks to be close enough in diameter that you could use a Pro T connector or the 1-inch EMT connector on it. And from there, he's just got a 1-inch EMT T going up to another one, and then a pipe going horizontal. And this horizontal pipe supports the solar panel. And what's really cool is this solar panel is made to kind of fold out like this. This is it when it's fully deployed, and this is it when it's kind of folded up. You can see it there. It's kind of folded up into a box shape, pretty much, and that's really awesome. It looks like it kind of fits nice. It looks like it's a part of the bike and meant to be on the bike. And then when you're ready to deploy it, you can. Here it is flat, and I love the license plate on the scooter. Got solar, really cool. And really simple build, but it gets the job done. We don't really see how the solar panel is attached. Maybe there's like a bracket there, it looks like, or some kind of sleeve that allows the conduit to slide inside of it. Not really sure, we can't tell, but I would imagine it would have to be something that kind of clamps down just to be able to keep that the solar panel from, tilting back and forth or just kind of swiveling on the pipe. But really simple solution. Here it is with a solar panel attached and I guess that's some kind of bank maybe. I'm not really knowledgeable on solar panels or even the Razor scooters, so I'm not sure if this solar panel goes to a battery and charges a battery in the scooter, and maybe this is like some kind of inverter or something like that. I'm not 100% sure, but nonetheless, it's a really great build, super simple, only a couple connectors, and then that really cool bracket as well, and just to make the simple solar panel rack. So super cool. Thanks so much, Justin, for sharing this in the community. We love seeing it, and it's really awesome. Next up is another boat cover, and this is from Luis. I think that's Luis. And this is a boat cover similar to what we've seen in the past, where basically, just like the John boat cover we looked at a few minutes ago, it's not really made to attach to the boat, but it's just providing a cover and a frame that supports the cover and adds some elevation to it so the water can run off or snow, depending on where you're located. And so the way that Luis has done this is it looks like there's 90-degree connectors in the middle of the pipe that goes from the front of the boat to the back of the boat. And basically those 90-degree connectors are just running pipes down to the sides, and I think there's rubber pipe feet on the ends of each one. And it's really simple. Just, that same technique is used all the way down, and there's one pipe angled at the front, and we don't see it really attached to the boat, but I'll put a picture on screen of one we saw a while ago that was very similar, where basically it just kind of sits on the frame of the boat, and the angled supports here kind of rest on the edge of the boat, and then you're able to drape your cover over it, and get a nice winter cover. So really cool, Louise. Thanks so much for sharing that. We'd love to see it attached to the boat once you get it on there. So feel free to share that in the community. He's actually in the Facebook group. I'll leave a link to that down below. We have the free community on our website, and we also have a free Facebook group. So check those out, linked in the description if you're interested. But thanks, Luis. Really cool to see. Next up is a winter vegetable garden. And I guess this is going to be a greenhouse or some kind of cover. And this was a review left on the mixed bundle, which is really cool because I would imagine that's the only connectors they use. So if they built this only using the mixed bundle, that's really awesome. I can't really tell. I haven't added up all the connectors yet, but I think so from just first glance. But nonetheless, it's a really great structure. And so basically, what they've got is these elevated raised garden beds, and there's verticals attached. Looks like there's some that run on the outside of the garden bed here, and then some that attach to the top of the garden bed. And basically, those are just creating, verticals and support pipes on all the corners. And then from there, there's pipes running around, and I think there's 90s in the corners, which is pretty common and a good way to make corners and things like that. And then those are connected to the door frame here with T connectors, and then the pipe between them, of course. Then it looks like the angled supports from the roof to the top are made with 45-degree connectors here. So that's a good way to do it. 45-degree connector attached to this vertical sends a pipe up to the 90-degree connector. Has a really nice angled pitched roof. So if you have an area with snow or water, as we've mentioned with several other builds, they'll be able to run off effectively and not pull up on top. And looks like that same thing is mirrored on the other side. And then what's really cool is the rest of the angled supports. The T connector is actually being used to achieve the rest of the angles down here on this pipe that run up to the 90-degree connector. And if you don't know, so like here you can see the vertical pipe, the way the 45-degree connector, connects, it's basically connected to that pipe and then goes up. But since this other pipe that's connected to the 90-degree connector is horizontal, you wouldn't be able to use a 45-degree connector in the same way. But you can use a T connector on the horizontal to create an angled pipe. Basically, you just connect it and then, attach it to whatever angle you want and then secure it that way. And you can, copy the angle of the 45 on the end there. So that's a really good technique to keep in mind if you're doing something like this. And again, those T connectors send an angled pipe up to 90s, just like we saw with the other one. Horizontal pipe in the middle, attached with 90-degree connectors or that run inside the 90-degree connectors. And yeah, looks really awesome. All that's left is to add some greenhouse plastic or maybe a sunshade in the summer. All kinds of different things you can do with it once you get a structure like this. You can run trellises off of it just really cool. So thanks so much for sharing that, Michelle. Looks awesome. It looks like a really great solution, and we appreciate the review. Glad you had a good experience, and we appreciate you sharing the build. Next up is a packaging workstation built by Grant at Morgan Tool and Die. We actually talked on the phone for a little bit. He saw the packaging workstation that we built for John Saunders and his team a couple years ago, and they wanted something simpler. We had built that one with all kinds of box storage and sticker storage. It had like a tiered main level that would have the tape dispenser kind of offset from the main work area, had angled support in the back. But Grant and their team wanted something more simple and just to kind of fit their process better. And that's the best part of customizing something like this is you can build it exactly how you need it for your processes and things. So their table consists of 8 90-degree connectors. There's one in each corner here, and that's a really great way to make the basic framework. And that's kind of what I told Grant when I was helping him come up with a design and connector list is to kind of start with the main framework and then figure out what you need after that. Like how many different boxes do you have? Okay, where can we put those boxes and build the storage for that? And so you have that main frame there with 8 90-degree connectors. In the middle, we've got four-way connectors here that run or send a pipe from front to the back, and there's four-way connectors in the back there. And then that allows you to basically have another vertical about halfway down the table. And then it looks like he added T connectors from one pipe to the other, and then some from front to back to support this shelf here. And he's going to have some different, things they need stored down there, maybe boxes, whatever it may be, down here on this. And you could even put some down low if you wanted to on either side here. Then you got the main workstation. And one thing that we like to recommend for workstations like this is to actually run the pipe or kind of the shelving system and have it overhang the front of the or not overhang the front, I guess, but just kind of overhang the main tabletop area, as you can see here. So this pipe goes up. There's T connectors at the top, and then there's a vertical pipe that goes down, and then a rest here on this main tabletop. It looks like there's some kind of flange, maybe like a curtain rod flange or something like that on the tabletop to hold the vertical. But then once you have that done on both sides, you can then add some cross pipes, which is what he did using, I think, T connectors. And then those cross pipes are supporting boxes, as you can see here. And then there's even some storage attached on the other side. Looks like just a T connector sending a pipe out. It looks like the foam or bubble wrap roll is on a pipe there. Makes it really easy. And there's tape here as well, kind of in the same manner, just over top of this pipe. And then you could just grab onto it, unroll it when you're doing packages. And that's really cool. Looks like a great solution. And one thing somebody in the comments pointed out was it looks like that's a T connector kind of cut in half. So you don't really need that pipe coming out of it. They just wanted to attach a T connector and use it as kind of a bump stop for whatever you have on this pipe here, to block the roll from just rolling off the side once you're pulling stickers off of it and things. So that's really smart. You could also use the puzzle piece clamp. It's basically half a T connector. That's another option for you. It basically sticks up a little bit. That would be something that might work just as well. But he had T connectors left over from the build, so he just cut them in half, and that works too. So really cool build, Grant. Glad it worked out for you. He said it's working well, and they said they might customize it later and add more to it as the processes change and they start machining more stuff and sending more stuff out. So really cool, Grant. Thanks so much for posting that and or sending it to us. He shared some pictures, and I think he posted it on Instagram as well. But either way, we really appreciate you posting that and sharing it with us. We love seeing it. Next up is a music desk from Eddie, and this has so much incorporated into it. Let's just start with the main part of the frame. It looks like there's four verticals in the corners, and I think it's 3/4 inch GMT with white shrink wrap over all the pipes. And I think there's 90-degree connectors connected to those verticals there. Just like we talked about with the packaging workstation, that basically creates a rectangle all the way around and makes a good support system for a countertop or, for a desktop, whatever it may be. I think this is a butcher block. It looks really good. I like that wood grain. But there's T connectors here in the middle, or one T connector that sends a pipe to the back. I would imagine another T connector holding that in. And that just adds another support to this desktop, which it looks like there's a lot on top, so that's a good idea. And then those four verticals have different things coming off of them to, have different places for all these different accessories. So at the top here, the vertical, there's a rung going all the way around. It looks like 90s in the corner here on both sides, T connectors on the front, and then that rung of pipe goes all the way around. I believe there's a T connector here with a pipe going all the way to the other side and another T connector. and that created a kind of support system for a shelf here. It's holding, looks like one of the Mac Studio and all kinds of equipment there. And that's great. And then here on the bottom, we can see there's T connectors branching off of the vertical. And what that allowed Eddie to do is have another vertical kind of extended off the front here. And then he's got a flange connector upside down connected to the conduit. And that upside down flange is supporting this speaker shelf. And I imagine the same technique was used on this other side to hold this speaker, and it looks really great. And then I think to kind of finish everything off, I can't really see how the drawer slides are attached. Maybe in a similar way that we looked at with Leaf's flight simulator, but there looks like there's a pipe coming down or a piece of wood or something, and then the drawer slides are attached to this piece of wood here to create a keyboard tray pretty much that slides in and out from under the desk, holds the keyboard and an iPad. And then there's another pipe here connected. I think this slides in and out as well. This actually might be another like desk or something. I think this down here where the keyboard, this desk that the keyboard's sitting on, is something that was already manufactured. Maybe the old desk, as you can see, looks like there's wooden legs, and then I think it's on wheels, so that could just roll in and out as well. So it's just a really cool music desk, and it has all this stuff incorporated into it to make it really awesome and fit the space really well. As you can see, it looks like there's a kind of a corner they're working in here, and maximizing that space is really smart. And this is a great build to do that. So really cool, Eddie. Thanks so much for posting this music desk. And I think he said he's starting a new YouTube channel, and the kickoff video for that channel will be a build breakdown or kind of an overview, maybe even a how-to of how Eddie put this together. So that'll be really cool to see, and definitely check that out if you're interested. That's all the builds I have for you this week. Thanks to everybody who shared their builds. We always love to see the creative things that you guys are doing with conduit and other materials. If you want to see any of today's projects in more detail, they'll all be linked down below. Thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.